egrets and the beach, and it was very sheltered. I went off to UNC Chapel Hill, got a degree in journalism and mass communication. And when I graduated from college, I came back home, and my sister was a dietitian at the time, registered dietitian, and she was starting this little company. She was starting this, and she needed a logo. And so I sat down and I was sketching out something on the hearth. And it occurred to me right then, oh my gosh, this comes naturally to me. Being the one to do a logo or do something creative, that comes naturally to me. And I enjoy it. So I enrolled in Savannah College of Art and Design. And I started writing for a little local newspaper called the Island Packet down there. I would do little news pieces, and I didn't really enjoy the hard news pieces, the who, what, when, where, why, and how. What I really loved was going into an interview, doing a personality profile on somebody, taking my tape recorder, sitting there, turning it on, not even worrying about taking notes, and just living and breathing the sounds and the smells and everything that was said, and bringing these people, these characters to life on paper. I had no idea that it was preparation for what I'd be doing later on. I just knew that I was enjoying that at the time, and it was helping to pay the bills. I quit my jobs, quit my corporate jobs, started my own business at home, started doing web design. When I was sitting there behind my computer, and I could work in my pajamas, and I didn't have to deal with anybody except my husband and the child and the people that I really loved, I thought, now this is what we're talking about. I didn't know how to write a novel. I had only written articles. And I wasn't a big reader at the time either. I never studied fiction. But the strangest thing happened the next morning after I started that research. I woke up at 4 a.m. and my character, Essie Mae, was just telling her story. And I went up there and just started writing it down. And I'm not a morning person, especially when I was 6 months pregnant. About 2 weeks later, I was actually writing a book, and I couldn't believe it, and I knew I needed some help. I came home, and I would wake at all hours of the night with Essie Mae's story that had to come out. Now, I had no publisher, no designs really on getting it. I didn't know if I could write a book. I had written something for middle grade. I had written something about 30,000 words, but I'd never written a full novel, and didn't know what I was doing, and had never studied fiction. And had I stopped to think about all these things, I would have stopped dead in my tracks. Within 5 months, I had started that book, gone on bed rest, had the baby, and finished the book. And there it was. And I remember sending it up to my mom. I said, well, I have this book. What should I do with it? She said, get it out there. Go get an agent. So I did. I got an agent like within a day, which doesn't happen. I went on writersmarket.com. I formulated a query letter. I sent it off to a few agents who would accept email queries. And this one agent said, send me the manuscript by email. And I did. And a few hours later, he wanted to represent me. Within 2 weeks, we had big houses, like three big houses looking at my book. And I actually talked on the phone with one editor at Penguin, and she really loved it, and we talked about things that I might change, and I mean, it was really happening fast. And there were 3 of them that all wanted it on Friday, and by Monday they were all gone. And I'd never been so low, so high and so low. I mean, I just crashed. And I had a talk with an editor at Penguin. And if I don't, she told me what would make my first book a better book. Why don't I just do that? It dawned on me a good months later. I tell you, I'm slow. And I decided to rework that book. And but I had this editor's email address, and I reworked it, and I sent it. I said, I just reworked my novel. Would you like to look at it again? She said, yes, send it up. And I left a message for my agent. I said, Penguin is interested in seeing my book again. And all of a sudden I got a phone call. And within 2 weeks, it didn't sell to Penguin because my agent had now moved. He was stopping being an agent. That's why he wasn't answering my phone calls. He was going to be a publisher now at a publishing house. So he ended up selling that book to his new publishing house within 2 books and a preemptive deal. And so that's how my whole career started.